Wagenia waterfall, one of the tourist sites of the city. A place not only historic but also from traditional fishing for Guinea people. With the goal of sensitizing the population or eco-gastronomy, the delegation visit the fall. Question 4. Slow food delegation to palpitate the fisheries techniques used by Guinea people. Where did the crab Guinea come from and how ended up in this site? Mr. Munganga Bakali Frank, the leader of the site, explained. Here we are at Wagenia waterfall. Our ancestors worked here for many years ago, but while working, they were troubled by aquatic animals. The first Guinean who worked here in this site was called Tende, which means the leader. How our ancestors were fishing? What you have to know is, firstly, they made two boats named Cheli Kangoma and Timbitiri. In this boat, there were more than 200 persons inside. When we arrived here in Kisangani, we found two tribes which are Como and Mbole tribes. We were welcomed by those tribes cited above. Then they said in Swahili language, Karibu wageni, means welcome visitors. After that, they asked the questions to our ancestors. What's your aim here? Our ancestors said, we are here for fishing. As Como and Mbole tribes were cultivators, they attribute a part of land to our ancestors for staying. At 1883, Stanley the explorer arrived by a boat around 6 p.m. The objective of Stanley was the meeting with Mr. David Livingstone at Ujiji in Tanzania country. When Stanley looked around him, he saw smoke. Then he asked the question to ancestors who he found fishing there. What's that? Where you see what the smoke you see there, it's our living site. We stayed there. And Mr. Stale decided to go at their living site. He spent 2 days with them. As he was welcomed, he decided to spend 2 days with those ancestors. When he would like to move from that site to Ajuja to meet Mr. Livingstone, he asked this question to them. Where are we now? Our ancestors answered, we are in Kisanga, means jungle or forest. Stale reacted, oh, Kisangani. This is even the origin of the name of this site, means Kisangani. For this site to be called Wagenia waterfall, it's necessary to have a sign symbolizing the practice of fishing. The leader explained, Mr. Bakal. Here we have two kinds of fisheries, the big and the small one. We use the big fishery during the dry season and the small one in the rainy season. The installation you see behind me, it's not easy to make it, and it is divided to different families. The small fishery, we can find the installation for more than 119 families, but in the big one, there we can find installation for 240 families. You should know that our fishing is made 2 times per day, in morning and evening. Before we can go up on our installation fishing, we must receive the traditional phone call from our chief, and that phone call is called Mungungu in our mother tongue. Once we receive that sign, there we can pull our nets. If we catch some fishes, our wives are ready for selling at the market. What kind of fish do you catch here? We catch different fishes here, the big one and the small one. So we can say it mboto, ngolo, and so on. But we have 5 kinds of fisheries we used here. First, in through the installations behind me. First is through the installation behind me, named Tomibo in our dialect. The second one is throwing the net on the river. After the fourth, we use the hook for fishing, and the last one is reserved for our chief with his family. This kind of fishery is called katilo. How are going to make it? People dip into the water with a small net. We do that kind of fishing 3 a.m. Note that the installations can be replaced after 6 or 8 months before. There are no roses without thorns said. These fishermen find difficulties to achieve their goals. This is how they extend their hand to all people of the goodwill. As a recommendation to our authorities are to arrange the road which leads to the site because it's a touristic place. Note that all the recommendations are taken into account by the team of Slow Food Kisangani and promises to return very soon.